I'll get to Stephen in a minute, but I want to ask you first about this, Michael, because Daniel Mookhey was on about it in his speech, he was on about it in his press conference, and he was on about it to me before. This anti-privatisation religion of this New South Wales Labor government. Now, Bob Carr and Michael Egan knew they had to sell things off to pay down debt. They were very much Labor people. Morris Yemma knew it. You know, they say it's just a coalition phenomenon. And I know with electricity bills going up, etc., privatisation is unpopular at the moment. But when you've got a debt burden like that, isn't it a bit dangerous to just rule it out for all time? Any form of privatisation?
Well, it is. And in politics, you've always got to look at the long term. And in the end, I take the view that it's better for privatisations to have taken place. Not everyone's successful. Not every government's successful, Mr Mookhey. Every treasurer, not every treasurer is successful. So, of course, you shouldn't rule these things out. You know, Paul Keating privatised things. So did the Victorian Labor government. So they have across the country. You know, to basically say, I was at school when Egan was privatising, as he said, it's like, well, mate, sorry, you can't just pretend you're a numpty and, you know, history only begins with your election a few months ago. Of course, you've got to put things in a historical context, and overwhelmingly, privatisations are good for the economies because the private sector is ultimately better at running things than a government is.
All right. Well, what's your view on this, Stephen Conroy? Because you're not
well,
exactly.
It's lovely to.
I don't think you're as left wing. Frankly, I don't think you're as left wing as some of these Labor politicians we're seeing these days. You know, not that I'm having a go at left wingers. I'm just saying I'm surprised by the it's real sort of 1960s attitudes. Almost, it seems to me.
Well, I'm enjoying the 1970s attitudes that Michael's just expressed. Private sector is better. I mean, it's just, I wish you could find somewhere where that actually was true. I mean, let me be clear. I have opposed publicly, on the record, for years, privatisation of essential utilities. I think they're monopoly services, and decisions by state Labor governments, state Liberal governments over the years to put them in the hands of the private sector have been an epic failure. You've just got to look at Victoria's power system at the moment. You've just got to look across the country. States that have kept them in control are in a better position than states that have, whether it's water, gas, electricity,